And we welcome you into the Unrivaled Postgame show live from Beaver Stadium here. Penn State defeats Indiana in a nail-biter today, 33-24, the final score. We'll go through all the highlights. We'll hear from head coach James Franklin at his press conference as well, but our exclusive coverage begins postgame as Penn State seals this on the defensive side. The strip sack from this guy, denied Dennis Sutton, that knocks the ball out, and then a mad scramble for that hot potato going all the way back into the end zone results in a safety. And Penn State wins it late here, 33-24 over Indiana. And tonight, let's just talk about that last play. Trying to come up with a big play when your team needed it most. What was the mindset defensively there on the final drive, knowing you're in a one-score game?
Oh, yeah. I was just focused on just trying to get off the ball and get up the field, you know what I mean? Because we knew they were going to end up passing. They had to get a touchdown or get a score. So I was just trying to get off the ball, get upfield as quick as possible. And then I seen the tight end was trying to block me. So I just sort of just went around them, and that's what we do every day.
We're looking at that play right here. You got that bend coming around the outside. You can see this great play on the outside, and they hit the quarterback from the blind side. The ball squeaks. I think Hakeem wanted it right there. Everyone wanted that ball for a touchdown, but you end up getting the safety, and that puts it away. And a great defensive play to seal this win, 33-24. What was the mindset throughout the course of the game? Coach Franklin, after the game, when he talked to the TV reporter, he said that the team was resilient. Why do you feel like your group was resilient today?
I think we just, coming off of last week, obviously, we don't want to talk about it again, but just last week we faced adversity against Ohio State, and this week we just wanted to come out and make a statement. It wasn't the prettiest win, but, we still came together and find a way to win, and, wins are tough, especially in the Big Ten.
And you look at some of the defensive highlights here, trying to control that run game, make the team one-dimensional against a mobile quarterback as well who could run. How important was it for the defense to get off the field on third downs today? Your team was really good at getting off the field on third downs against.
No, it's definitely huge. Anytime you can get 3 and outs on the offense or, against the offense, that's huge, especially it gives momentum to our offense. They need it to get points on the board and things like that. We're definitely going to need that. So, just getting them off on third down, that's what we take pride in. And then, our prowler package, when we get the DNs on the field, all those sort of things, it's just to try to get them off the field as quick as possible.
We talk about the safety at the end of the game, and that's a big highlight, but a big turning point as well. Indiana gets the ball after a turnover in great field position. What do you need to do when it's a quick change opportunity like that to make sure you're ready to go defensively?
Yeah, we always come together. Coach Manny brings us all together. Anytime it's any type of turnover from the offense or special teams, whatever, we'll always come together, get our minds correct, get our minds right, and just try to get a stop. And that's what we did. We stopped them with a field goal, right? And we just take pride in those sort of situations.
You talked about at the start of this resiliency and trying to shift that focus onto this game throughout the course of the week. What did you do to make sure you're ready to go today so you could come out of here 1-0?
For me personally, I just try to focus on what I can do and be in a position that I'm supposed to be. With Chop being out and we didn't have Chop, that's a big impact. But, just doing my job, doing my responsibility, and then doing it to the best of my ability is all I can really do. And then as a team, just trying to stay together, not trying to focus on the past, just focus on the future and what we have right at hand.
2 more for you here. The first one about Chop. What has he meant to you as an influence at this level to learn the game and really grow your skill set?
He's been huge. Before the game, we talked, we watched film together. He told me some tips on the offensive tackles, all those sort of things. And then off the field as well, Chop has been a great brother, great leader for me, and I've always looked up to him.
And then the second part there is Jamel Lyons, Zariah Fisher. They start to see more reps in a game like this. That's a really deep group. What is it about the group you have along the defensive line that makes that room so good that you have?
Oh, man, it's so fun, especially when we practicing and stuff, just to see the moves that they do on offensive linemen. And it's like, anytime they can get out there and make a play, they all have sacks. Jamil, Zariah, everybody has made plays. So it's just fun knowing that anytime I come off or anytime we rotate, they're going to do their job to the best of their ability.
Well, enjoy this one. A hard-fought win today. Came down to the end, and the defense seals it at the wire. Denai, congrats on a great win.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Dennis Sutton joining us here after the Nittany Lions win at 33-24 over Indiana here at Beaver Stadium today. Again, the final score, Penn State 33, Indiana 24. We'll be joined here throughout the course of our post-game show. I think tight ends coach Ty Howell's going to be with us today. We'll talk to a couple of key players from the offensive side of the football as well. Head coach James Franklin beginning his press conference right now. And as we wait for our next guest, let's listen in to the head coach of the Nittany Lions.
Found a way to make plays at critical moments. Denai's play obviously was huge. Keandre's play was huge. Drew responding like that. So I'm just proud of the guys. So obviously we got some things that we got to get cleaned up and corrected. But moving forward, we got to get back to stacking days, stacking wins, and learn from the last 2 weeks' experiences. So appreciate you guys coming out and open up to questions.
We'll go to Rich, and then we'll go to Mark.
You mentioned Drew. Was it somewhat, I don't know, relieving that you were able to hit a deep pass after struggling all year to hit a deep pass in a big situation?
Head coach James Franklin addressing the media just across the hallway here at Beaver Stadium as the Nittany Lions win it against Indiana by a 33-24 final score. And we're joined by tight ends coach Ty Howell here postgame. And Coach talked about on TV after the game, then I just talked about it, our first guest in here, the resiliency of the football team today. There's going to be adversity during the season, whether it's a macro thing or a micro thing within a game. How did this team handle the different moments today?
Yeah, I think they played well under pressure and fought through that adversity. That was a good Indiana football team. So, seeing our guys stick together and rally and play off one another was huge. Obviously defensively, offensively, and special teams. So it was good to see our team, battle through that.
And we were just talking to Denai about that complementary football. The defense gets put in a tough spot, but they come up and hold that Indiana offense to a field goal, and that allows the offense then to have that opportunity for that winning drive and make that winning play. A part of a lot of big college football games, whether you're coaching or playing during your career, sometimes you just need a guy to step up and make a big play. The play, Drew Aller to Keandre Lambert-Smith for the touchdown. Talk to us about that play, but also the importance of that play in that moment.
Yeah, it was a huge play for us offensively. We needed a guy to step up and make a big-time play, and Dre did that. They've been working on that, and obviously, chemistry helps. And man, I'll tell you what, it was a big-time play and a huge moment in the game where we needed someone to do that. So shout out to Dre and Drew and the whole line, up front. So it was awesome to have that happen.
And we see the tiptoeing down the sideline. Great work on the tightrope there by Keandre Lambert-Smith for what ends up being the game-winning touchdown. Let's talk about the tight end unit. Theo Johnson getting into the end zone today. Khalil Dinkins getting into the end zone today. What makes that group dangerous, particularly inside that 20-yard line?
Yeah, I think, you first got to think about the run game. I mean, with our really good backs and the way that we're able to run block and do those things. So it allows you to kind of get mismatches and be able to take advantage of play action sets and those things. And then obviously, when you get an opportunity, make a play. And those big bodies and top shelf throws and those things are huge for us down there.
We're watching Theo's catch right there, adjusting to the football. What's his approach there as Drew gets that ball in the air against the blitz? He recognizes the blitz. Take us through that.
Yeah, he recognizes blitz, does a nice job clearing the hands of the defender, and Drew gives him a chance to touch it, and so that's the big thing there. And then ultimately, Theo's got to use his God-given ability of his body and frame and those things to go up and make a play on the ball, which he did. So it was a great, great play by all to recognize the blitz and go up there and get it.
Katron Allen with 81 yards rushing today. Nicholas Singleton with 50 yards on the ground. And you could really sense as this game went on, particularly late in the first half, starting the second half, the importance offensively of establishing that run game and setting a tone along the line of scrimmage. How important was that to get that run game on track?
Absolutely. I mean, it's about physicality and mindset, and those guys, they're efficient, and made some big runs there late, The 4-minute drive there, that run at the end of the game, that huge run, get the first down and end it. And so, that's what we kind of, talked about as a offense is like we got to establish that and especially there at the end of the game when things were tight.
We're watching a couple of big runs from Katron Allen here. You blocked for some great running backs during your career. Could you imagine blocking for these two? What makes those two special, Allen and Singleton? Katron just finds a way, it seems like, when there's not a lot of yardage, whether it's his finesse or the power to find a way to pick up some extra yards and put your team in an advantageous spot.
Yeah, I think he's got great vision and feet, and that's a lot of times, those great running backs, that's two qualities they have, and Nick does as well. And so, having a two-headed monster back there is great. But, those are the things that Coach Sider preaches and does a great job with that group.
The final thing here, this game really started to turn. You look and needing to come from behind, trailing 14-7. And then Coach Franklin always talks about the middle eight. It maybe was a little bit more than the middle eight, but to outscore Indiana 17-0 from the tail end of the second quarter and to start that third quarter strong, how important was that area in determining the outcome of the game today?
It's huge, you know. Anytime you can end the first half with a score and then come out and score in the second half, you know, you can flip the tables pretty quick. And it's something Coach Franklin preaches to our team. And it's complementary football, right?
Yep.
Like defense get it back, and then offense get points, and then come out and, you know, have a great special teams, and, you know, so it's huge for our success.
Ty, appreciate the time. Congrats on the victory. Enjoy this one. Thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Ty Howell joining us here. Post-game head coach James Franklin's press conference continues. Let's listen in.
A little bit more aggressive in tucking the ball under and running a little bit. Is that a result of a conversation from last week's film or looking at something, or did it just present itself a little bit more today for Drew to tuck it under and run some more?
No, we always want to climb the pocket. You know, whenever you get pressure, a big mistake you can make is drifting in the pocket, and then obviously it becomes difficult for the offensive tackles. You want to drive up into the pocket, and then that's when you take the checkdowns, and if the checkdowns aren't there, then take off. And, you know, that's where you can, you know, take a second and long and create a third and manageable. So, you know, he's done a good job of that. I think he can continue to do that. I think there's some things in the run game where he can help us as well on some of the zone read stuff. If we'll pull it and run it out the backside or pull it and throw it, I think those things will help us as well right now. I think that's some of the things we've talked about. You know, when Bo's in there, they're concerned about that, which has opened some opportunities in the running game, you know, for Potts and some of the backs. So I think we gotta be willing to do more of that.
Corey, then Donnie.
James, you played
Head coach James
to your left.
Franklin's press
You played
conference
quarterback.
continues
You
here post-game at Beaver Stadium as the Nittany Lions defeat Indiana by a 33-24 final score. And we just talked to Ty Howell, the tight ends coach, about how this football team gets complementary football, and that's three pieces: offense, defense, special teams. KJ Winston with us here now post-game. KJ, let's first talk about the defense stepping up at the end of the game. Obviously, you don't want to allow any points on a scoreboard, but being put in a tough spot on the quick change to hold Indiana to a field goal. First, what's the mentality of the defense in that situation?
Yeah, you know, the offense went down, had a great job, big play, scored, and, you know, we consider ourselves closers.
Yeah.
You know, we come out in the game and put it on us to make the play and get the stop, so came together as a team, and that was all our focus was, to go out there and not allow Indiana to score. And you talk about complimentary football, and that's all about it right there.
Yeah, as the offense goes down, hits that big play to Keandre Lambert-Smith, the safety at the end of the game, a 33-24 final score. I know you take a lot of pride in what you're doing in the secondary to limit the opposition with the big plays in the passing game, but also I'm watching you up near that line of scrimmage. How much do you enjoy being a part of what has been a stingy run defense this season?
Yeah, you know, I feel like as a defense, we take pride in not allowing teams to run on us,
Yeah,
and take that away from people. So, you know, as a DB, that goes all the way around. We're not putting it all on our linebackers and our D-line. As DBs and safeties, corners, we all have to get in there and throw our hats in there and, you know, make tackles. So, you know, we all take pride in that as a group.
Indiana with just 80 rushing yards here today. It's the 7th consecutive game in which an opponent has been held to 100 yards or less against Penn State's defense. And we're watching some of the plays here, and there's an example coming up from the outside. Johnny Dixon had a sack today. Daquan Hardy had a sack today, and they're everyone nosing around for that football. And this is a game, you know, you're going to be in some Big Ten games, as you know, that are battles. How did you stick with it? There's going to be moments when it's not perfect. What was important to stick with it today?
Yeah, my thing was, you know, adversity makes us stronger. So, you know, got put against adversity today. You know, our goal was to allow it to make us stronger, not divide, you know, not point fingers, not get down on each other. We was like, this is exactly what we want. We need moments like this to make us stronger and a better team. So we took advantage of the moments.
When you're in a tight game, when you're in a tie game late on the sideline, what's the vibe? Who's stepping up in that situation? What are you trying to do to make sure you're ready to go when your number's called on the field?
You know, what I'm saying from this team is it's not anybody in particular. It's everybody. You know, everybody's, you know, up and upbeat no matter what it is. If we're down, we're up, tied up. You know, everybody's upbeat, ready to go. So, you know, in the safety room, we all, you know, the DBs have the same bench linebacker. You know, we're all walking around, talking to each other, keeping each other up. So, you know, when you have everybody going like that, you can go out there with that confidence in the whole defense.
And you're peeking at the scoreboard, too, probably to see what the offense is doing. What were your thoughts when Keandre Lambert-Smith's tiptoeing down that sideline?
No, I'm feeling great. You know, obviously, you know, you're feeling good right there. See that happen. You know, I had the confidence in the offense, knew having it in their hands, they were going to make a play there. So, you know, once saying that, it's like, okay, now it's time for us to, you know, give it back to them.
What's the meal post-game today?
I'm gonna probably Probably always going to go to Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to go ahead and get me some Chick-fil-a.
KJ, congrats on a great win.
Thank
Thanks so
you,
much.
thank
KJ Winston joins us here as the Nittany Lions win at 33-24 over Indiana. As we said, head coach James Franklin's press conference continues. Let's check back in.
Hey, can I ask a question? Real quick. Chris is nervous right now. If we wanted to switch to Monday press conference, would that be problematic for you guys, or would you be supportive of that to move on to the next?
Well, I'm curious what the answer is there for the media, whether they should switch the press conference from Tuesday to Monday. We're going to continue with our postgame here live from Beaver Stadium. The sun peeking out. Beaver Stadium. 107,000 here today. A little bit of rain. Maybe we'll get a rainbow when we're walking out of the field. But 107,000 here today. You could put a pickleball game at the 50-yard line. I think people would show up to watch Penn State football. Absolutely dominant, 33-24. Finding a way, right, in the end. Finding a way to make big plays down the stretch for this 33-24 victory over Indiana. We're going to be joined, I believe, by Keandre Lambert-Smith here at postgame. Let's run through some of the numbers from this game. Penn State, 342 total yards on offense, 210 passing yards, 132 rush yards. Balanced attack today. Drew Aller, 20 of 31, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Katron Allen, 18 carries, 81 yards. Nicholas Singleton, 15 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Then Keandre Lambert-Smith, 6 catches, 96 yards, and of course, the 57-yard game-winning touchdown with 1:46 to go in the fourth quarter put Penn State up 31-24. Then the Nittany Lion defense, very next play, comes up with the safety, knocking the ball out of the hands of the quarterback, Sorsby, and a hot potato back there rolling around to the end zone, just unable to scoop it up for the touchdown, but they get the safety on the play. And Penn State again wins it by a 33-24 final score. Some defensive players of note here in this game. Jalen Reed from the safety position, 8 tackles, a tackle for loss, and an interception. Denied Dennis Sutton, who kicked off our postgame show here, 6 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. And as I said moments ago, Johnny Dixon and Daquan Hardy, each with sacks here in the game from that Penn State secondary. Indiana made a couple of big plays early. Outside of that, their numbers inflated because of those 2 big plays, the 90-yard touchdown pass and a 69-yard touchdown pass here against the Nittany Lions. Overall, though, the defense did a really nice job against Indiana for a majority of the game, including late. Mentioned holding Freeman to the 35-yard field goal with 2:58 left. Penn State gets the ball, then a 3-play touchdown drive. Lambert-Smith, 57 yards from Aller, ultimately the difference offensively here today, as Penn State has to rally a couple of times to beat the Hoosiers and then close it out despite getting punched back late by Indiana. So Penn State improves to 7-1 on the season, 4-1 in the Big Ten. The Nittany Lions will visit Maryland next week, a 3:30 kickoff at the Terrapins. Again, 3:30 at Maryland next week. We welcome everyone into our exclusive coverage here on the Unrivaled postgame show. Let us know where you're watching from today. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Again, let us know where you're watching from here postgame as Penn State wins it by a 33-24 final score. Here on Military Appreciation Day at Beaver Stadium, you saw so many of those players donning that gear on the sideline. We got the hats, the Nittany Lions sweatshirt. It's available by going to gopsusports.com. Again, go to gopsusports.com, and you can dress just like the players here at Beaver Stadium. Maybe if you have one of those camouflage hats on. No, you can't sneak on the field. I'm just kidding. But you'll look like the players here at Beaver Stadium. A 33-24 final score over the Hoosiers today as the sun finally has peeked out. It was a windy day, but a warm day. Temperature around 70 degrees at kickoff. Is a little bit humid out there. You know, I mentioned kickoff. We haven't talked to him all year. How about a tip of the cap to Gabe Wosu today, who was belting the ball all over the place, out of the end zone, I think, on almost every one of his kickoffs. That's important because the field position battle was won by Penn State. They were put in a few precarious spots, but Penn State wins the field position battle. They win the turnover battle. They win the time of possession battle, and ultimately that results. And the explosive play at the end, very, very important. I know fans were looking forward to seeing that explosive play at the end. And ultimately they win the football game by a 33-24 final score. Let's roll back through the highlights of this one as Penn State defeats Indiana on Military Appreciation Day. What a moment pregame. Caden Saunders runs the flag out of the field, onto the field, hands it off to his dad, retired Master Sergeant Anthony Saunders on this Military Appreciation Day. Head coach James Franklin walking in. Great crowd, great weather for late October, Halloween weekend. Nittany Lions taking the field here at Beaver Stadium today. Penn State trying to improve on that 6-1 record, and they do. 7-0 Indiana here, late opening quarter. Big kick. Riley Thompson was really good kicking the football today. It's muffed. Penn State recovers, and there is KJ Winston. We just talked to him recovering that fumble. Special teams really solid once again in this football game. 4th and 1. Penn State play action pass. They go to the air, and no one, I mean, you can't get more wide open than Khalil Dinkins. Touchdown. He's got 2 catches this year. Both are touchdowns, 9 yards. 7-7 to score. Second quarter, Penn State trailing Indiana 14-7. We talked to Ty Howell about the importance of the running game. Obviously, a concerted effort to get the ball into the hands of Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen today. Over the middle there, Drew Aller making something happen. Finds Singleton, the big catch, and then Singleton from 2 yards out drives it into the end zone. He scores, and that ties the game at 14. They reviewed the play. He did cross the goal line just across there for Penn State. Adisa Isaac applying the pressure, picked off by Jalen Reed, and thought he may take that to the house. Reed dancing and scooting his way down just outside the 40-yard line. 14-14 ball game. Final moments of the first half, and Alex Felkins belts it through from 50 yards out. Penn State takes its first lead at 17-14. First drive of the second half now. Again, that middle eight, so important again. Katron Allen, great day running the football. Finished the day with 81 yards. A lot of that fighting through contact spins there. Sets up Penn State inside the 30-yard line. And how about Drew Aller with his legs today? Finished with 8 yards rushing, but he had a couple of big runs for Penn State. 8 yards impacted because of the sacks against him. And then here, with the blitz on, fades it to the end zone. Theo Johnson goes up, makes the catch from 16 yards out. Touchdown, Theo's version, 24-14. Nittany Lions here late third quarter. The Penn State defense once again applying the pressure. No bodyguard on that backside, and Daquan Hardy comes off the edge, sacks Sorsby. Indiana ends up missing a field goal. Fourth quarter, 24-24. They make that field goal rather, and then Penn State down the sideline. Keandre Lambert-Smith tiptoes his way into the end zone from 57 yards out. Penn State goes in front 31-24. Beaver Stadium erupts, and Lambert-Smith tumbles into the end zone. And then right here, the game sealer denied Dennis Sutton off the edge. Ball's on the ground. Hakeem Beeman, he thinks he's going to have 6. Adisa Isaac tries to hop on the football, squirts out of the back of the end zone, and it results in a safety. 33-24, the final score today, as Penn State defeats Maryland, or takes on Maryland next week, and defeats Indiana today by a 33-24 final score to improve to 7-1 on the year, 4-1 in the Big Ten, as the Nittany Lions are victorious over the Hoosiers. So again, we've checked in the defensive side of the football, had KJ Winston a part of defense and special teams, the offensive side of the football with tight ends coach Ty Howell. And I have a feeling that may be the end of our guest parade into our studios here just off the South Tunnel at Beaver Stadium today, as Penn State wins it by a 33-24 final score. Let's run through some of those stats just one last time here before we check out for the rest of the day. Again, offensively, Drew Aller, 20 of 31, 3 touchdowns, 210 yards, delivers the big game-winning touchdown pass to Keandre Lambert-Smith at the end. Here again, that play action on that 4th and 1, Khalil Dinkins gets wide open. Coach Ty Howell just talked about how important establishing the run game was for the play action game. This is also a play action pass there. Tyler Warren over the middle, makes the catch, takes it out to the 30-yard line, and you're seeing Aller here deliver the football. Again, a bounce-back game, 3 touchdowns here for Aller today. And again, he's incorporating so many different playmakers, and I thought he was really good today at extending plays, using his legs with his big frame. He's still able to bounce off would-be tacklers, and his legs were a big asset in this game, including there keeping the play alive. Most people would have been down and out, and he never even goes down to the grass on that play. Aller escaping, great balance, and we're seeing everything that he can do, not only with his ability throwing the football, but his ability to move in the pocket and keep plays alive. But 33-24, the final. Nittany Lions over the Hoosiers today. They're now 7-1, 4-1 in the Big Ten. Maryland is next at 3:30 on Saturday down in College Park. We'll have the Unrivaled Weekly Preview show for you coming up on Wednesday. And then, once again, Penn State over Indiana today. And you know what? We're not going away just yet. Here he comes. Keandre Lambert-Smith is making his way in. So Keandre Lambert-Smith is going to come on over here, and this will be a great way to wrap up our live show here today. The Unrivaled post-game show comes on in. hand him the microphone. And Keandre, obviously the 57-yard game-winning touchdown catch puts your team up 31-24. First, can you take us back through that play? I know it's late. It's a tie game. Trying to come up with a big play when your team needed it most. Take us back through it.
So got the play call, and we can watch it. And I seen the coverage. Nothing but man coverage. It was just one guy out there. And I ain't gonna lie, I was waiting for this opportunity. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, there's no way he's stopping me right here. Looked up, Drew gave me a perfect ball. Tightrope the sideline, did a little front flip.
You do gymnastics at some point? I mean, that's some fancy footwork right there.
I didn't do gymnastics, but I can't flip a little, you know.
Well, I think 107,000 plus the national audience on national TV got to see that today. What's the mindset going into that last drive? 24-24 game, final 2 minutes. What's the mindset your offense had as it took the field there?
Just ending the game on our terms. No pressure. It came down to us, winning the game. And we practice those, critical situations throughout practice daily. And there was a time to showcase it, in game, in front of the fans, and we pulled through and made it happen.
I saw this week at practice yourself, Andrew, working on a lot of timing during the week. I know it's something you do each and every week. As you guys continue to work together in game situations as the season's gone on, how do you continue to improve on a week-by-week basis?
Just continue to build that chemistry. It's kind of different from practice and in game, so just it comes with, even if he's throwing it and we're not completing it, just getting those reps down and getting that chemistry built in game. I think it's pretty big, and we were able to hit today. So it was exciting. Felt explosive. We threw it downfield. That's what everybody talking about. So hey, made it happen.
Well, Coach was talking before about being resilient, handling adversity. How was your team able to do that, not only on a bigger picture bouncing back from last week, but Indiana continued to fight here in this football game? Yeah,
shouts out to Indiana. They came ready to play. And, adversity is something you can't shy away from.
Yep.
And like Theo said after the game, a lot of teams fold in that situation. We found a way. We're in a corner in an unexpected situation. We came out and found a way to get the win. So, I think that's a testament to our character and how the team is, how tight we are. Leaned on one another. Great leadership on the sideline. Kept everybody in the game. So, it was great.
Yourself, Nicholas Singleton, Theo Johnson, Khalil Dinkins all had touchdowns in this game. So many different players involved in the passing game and the ground attack. You look at the tight ends, receivers, running backs. What makes this offense dangerous when it has that chemistry, synergy, and you guys are clicking a little bit?
Just a lot of playmakers. We can score at any moment. A lot of different ways, a lot of different guys. And I think it's it's good keeping the offense balanced. Defense. I feel like it's hard for the defense to key in on one specific group when you got guys all around the field making plays.
Yeah, you obviously played with Sean Clifford last year at quarterback. Drew is still a first-year starter at quarterback. You see him 20 for 31 today, 3 touchdowns. I know he wants that one back at the end, set Indiana up for a field goal, but your defense holds him to 3. What do you see in the huddle from a guy like Drew to make sure that he's the guy that can lead you to a big play like you had at the end of the football game?
Real poise. Like I say every time, you know what to expect when you around a guy like Drew, whether it's practice, in game. He's a real steady guy. And you need that as far as like one of the leaders of our offense.
Yeah.
He doesn't get too down, too high. And so when you got somebody you can look at like that, it keeps you sane as well.
Well, Keandre, we'll let you get on out of here. Congrats on another victory, 33-24 the final day. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Keandre Lambert-Smith joins us here post-game as Penn State defeats Indiana 33-24. As I was saying moments ago, before one of the heroes of this game stopped on by number 1, heading on out of here. Penn State goes to Maryland 3:30 next Saturday. We're back with you on Wednesday with the Unrivaled preview show. And again, that's about 6:30 Wednesday. You can catch that on many of these same platforms that you're with us here post-game today as the Nittany Lions defeat the Hoosiers here at Beaver Stadium. Great work by our entire team. Isabel on camera, Ross Woomer and Alyssa Wagner producing the show, including our live studio audience here off to the left-hand side. We appreciate their insight for this broadcast as well. Penn State wins it by a final score of 33-24 over Indiana. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you Wednesday with the Unrivaled weekly preview show to preview the Nittany Lions and the Terrapins coming up as the calendar flips to November. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your Halloween coming up on Tuesday, and then we'll see you Wednesday for another live broadcast. Thanks again for tuning in.